can let our friends trickle on in. Thank you so much, Chris, for starting the live stream. And I'd love to welcome everybody to the King County Dems Central Committee Executive Board meeting for June of 2026. It's lovely to see you all here. It's a real treat. I will then ask you all to turn to your notes and check out our agenda. And when our friend Kat returns from the duty I sent her off to, please hydrate. She can share screen and we can look at our agenda for tonight. So good to have you here, and I'm glad to call us to order on time. We'll review our agenda, approve some minutes. We have a guest speaker for just a few minutes, and that is our old friend Carrie Bull. Carrie, it's great to have you back in our midst. You are now with Fair Vote Washington, and she has a message for us about ranked choice voting coming to Seattle soon. Then we'll get to the meat of our business with endorsements. All of our vice chairs will have things to say. Endorsements, Pride Month, PCO update. Diana has a treasurer report. We'll talk about upcoming meetings, move on to our usual stuff. Does anybody have any objection to this agenda or something you would like to add that would not normally fit into new business or good of the order? Seeing no hands raised, hearing no voices hollering, I think that we can say by acclamation, thank you all very much for approving this agenda. That's fantastic. Next up, I would love to ask Kat to share the draft minutes from our May meeting, which I know you've all seen a couple of times in emails from me. They're very brief because we had some nice votes and they were all passed. Anything we would like us to add or change to this? Any changes or additions? Hearing no changes or additions, we'll accept these May meeting minutes prepared by our secretary, Ricky Klein, as adopted by acclamation. Thank you. Thank you very much. And also a huge thank you. I'm going to guess this is whoever put the agenda in the chat. That was very thoughtful. Thank you very much. Great. Well, we are moving on smartly, and I'm thrilled to see us a tiny bit ahead of time as I look out at the sunshine in my front yard. And I would love to take down the screen share and ask our friend Carrie Bull if she would like to have the floor to speak a little bit. And I'm not meeting host anymore. So let's see, maybe I can spotlight you. I can. I'm now a co-host. Carrie, welcome. Tell us a
Hello.
little bit about where we are with ranked choice voting and what's coming up. What's on the horizon?
So much is on the horizon. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. I haven't been as active in the party for a couple of years, but a lot of familiar faces here. So thank you for welcoming me back. I am Carrie Bull. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the organizing director at Fairfield, Washington. And we are really excited right now because in just over a year from this time, Seattle will be using ranked choice voting for the first time in our primaries. And I wanted to make sure I was connecting with all of you because as PCOs, you are the some of the most involved people with direct voter contact in our communities and making sure that everyone has an opportunity to learn how to talk about ranked choice voting in an effective way. Make sure you're educating voters how to make full use of their ballot. It's going to be something that's really exciting for both voters and the party. So just wanted to come out here and put that on everyone's radar. I know everyone's getting ready, including us, to have a really excellent 2026 primary. Um, but yeah, that was my biggest thing. In a couple months, keep an eye out. We will be hosting a training um, for how to talk to voters about ranked choice voting. The ballots are very simple. Voters really like ranked choice voting, so it's not a hard sell, but I'm excited for you all to be empowered to talk to voters about it. Um, Additionally, with a ranked system for voting, organizations have an opportunity to rank their endorsements. And so if that's something you're all ready to talk to your LDs about, we can get into that at another time. But yes, Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, you mentioned that it was coming to Seattle. Is that only in Seattle?
Correct. Yes. In 2022, Seattle voters passed yes on 1B. It was a ballot initiative approving a change in how we vote and then a change and then ranked choice voting for what that change would be. And the King County Elections Department has been preparing to implement ranked choice voting ever since, and we will get to use it in 2027. But yes, just Seattle.
So we'll really look forward to attending your training sessions, especially those of us who have LDs within the Seattle city limits. May I make a request to include
Yes.
something? And that is, could you include how the Seattle calculation for ranked choice
Mm.
voting differs from what is in our state rules regarding um, ranked choice voting as an option for voting for recommendations for appointment. Year and a half ago, we
Oh,
did five
yes.
LDs in King County, did an appointment process to fill seats that were vacated by sitting House or Senate members. And it's a unique calculation. And I don't think Seattle's is the same, but I would hate for that experience to
To be
cause
confused.
confusion.
Yes. No, that's a great point. And yeah, what and Seattle's model will be slightly, it is a unique model in the country as we are the only city with open primaries to be using it in the primary. A lot of you probably know who Zoran Mamdani is, and he won the New York Democratic primary, and the Democratic primary in New York City is a ranked choice voting primary. So this will be similar, but we are open primaries and we're top two elections in Washington state. So it is actually very different. But, but yes, top two primaries are, excuse me, top two general elections will stay the same. We will still have open primaries. We will still have mail-in ballots.
I think,
The, go ahead.
I've
Yeah.
shared this with you
Oh,
before.
I think it's an
There were
accidental
emails.
off mute. So no worries, we got you. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. But yes, the biggest difference is that you get to vote for the candidate you're most excited about and then rank your backups. So that's the biggest difference. And
Love, love, love that. That's great. Carrie, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We'll look forward to having you come back to us, to all of our LDs, to offer some trainings and perhaps even a special presentation to our all PCO meetings. That would be a real treat to have you share the knowledge ahead of time to avoid as much confusion as possible. Great. All right. Thank you, friend. You're welcome to stay with us as long as you'd like, but you're also welcome to get back to your real life if you would like. Love it. Thank you. And thanks, Carrie, for putting your contact info in the chat. I appreciate that. And congratulations on that, on having a 5-month-old. That's pretty awesome and exciting. Yay. Kat and Dean, I wonder if you are ready to talk endorsement recommendations.
You bet.
Can I highlight you, or would you like to do a screen share instead?
I can do a screen share of the report.
Awesome, Blossom. It's all yours.
Let's do that. Hey, everybody. Thanks for so much great work last month and then in filling out the rest of our interviews in the intervening weeks and joining for a committee vote here earlier this month. Quick snapshot update. We have a total of 119 questionnaires that were submitted this year. We got a few stragglers coming in for some single LD races that we hopefully can approve and pass through here in the coming months. 57 interviews completed, most of which had representatives from at least 12 of our 17 LDs. So we had really great and, nice diversity of attendance at interviews this year. It was terrific. In terms of upcoming activity, we'll hold another voting meeting if needed after the primary, if we need to reconsider any endorsed candidates endorsements as lapsing if they didn't make it through the primary. Sorry, let me get that straight. And big news, Dean, if you're ready to speak to this, please. We have an upcoming AI discussion and learning forum. We had a date, but it turns out a couple of our key speakers are not available that date. So look for a date coming soon. And Dean, would you please tell everybody about it?
Sure. One of the themes that came up in many of our discussions with the endorsement committee this year was the subject of AI. Some of you may be aware that Katie Masouras from the 48th took the lead this year in developing research comparisons on a number of races using some AI tools, principally Claude, and it really provided us a depth of information and comparison in a way that we hadn't had in the past. We also heard that AI is being used in a number of useful and compelling ways, from generating meeting summaries to drafting resolutions to social media. So we are planning a forum for later this summer with just some practice examples, best practice examples from different LDs across King County. We're still in the planning stages. If your LD has a great example and you think there is something that you would like to share at the upcoming forum, reach out to Kat or myself and we'll follow up and make you a part of our planning efforts. But we're envisioning a 60 to 90-minute forum on Zoom. Just some case studies to bring people along. We also know that some people have reservations and concerns about the use of AI, and this will be a forum for you to share those perspectives as well. I think many of us know this is a really fast-moving and evolving discipline, and we think it's important that we as a community of practitioners supporting democratic goals and ideals that we continue to learn and move forward during our work. So welcome any feedback. Feel free to reach out directly and stay tuned as we finalize the date.
Thanks, Dean. We're really excited about this. And, just to clarify, we're not really looking to make any kind of platform history here. So we're really not talking about the merits of AI. We're talking about AI as it pertains to our work as King County Democrats. And specifically, some of us at least will be looking at this through the endorsements lens. Okay, really pretty simple today. We have two slates. As usual, we have all of the single legislative district candidates that have been endorsed in the last month for who are eligible for endorsement by King County Democrats. They come from the 5th, 34th, 37th, and 43rd legislative districts this month. There are, and just to be clear, there are still some candidates out there that LDs have endorsed, but who are not eligible because they haven't submitted questionnaires with us. So that's why if you're not seeing one from your LD, that could be the reason. And with that, we would like to pass these through as a slate. Of course, if anybody, we didn't do a formal motion to divide by email or anything this time. So if anybody has any of that they want to do, now would be the time.
I see a hand raised, Kat. Eddie Chang?
I'd like to make a motion to divide for Hannah Savio Howell.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second. Amy Hamrick.
Thank you. Are there any, I see a hand raised. Thank you, Lisa. Hi, Lisa Rivera.
Hi, good evening. I had a quick question. So RLD did some endorsements for LD specific races, the legislative and Senate. So I don't think we submitted those yet, even though we did have our endorsement meeting last month. Can we those be done tonight, or do we have to like submit it and do it next month?
Yeah, Lisa, we were, thanks to some amazing folks in your LD, we were actually live adding them to the slate last month as they were getting done. So I believe we actually have all of your single LD races already endorsed.
I missed last month, I think. So, okay.
I think you might have been busy
I
with
was
your
doing both, right?
endorsement meeting.
Which felt like I missed it, but yeah.
It was at the same time. Yeah. So it was great that that people were really able to help us out with that. So let me just double check though.
I couldn't recall. Sorry about that. Like I said, I was doing double duty, and I have the little guy with me again, so I'm not paying not paying the best attention right now.
Okay, if during the course of this meeting you discover that we missed something, please let us know. And Beth, Madam Chair, with your permission, I would ask that we would pass through an additional supplemental ballot if needed later in the meeting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We want to make sure that we use this time wisely
Thank
to
you.
follow through on all the LD wishes there. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for bringing it up.
If there are no other additions, corrections, or divisions, may I call for a vote on slate number 1?
Indeed. I think what I'd love to have us do is use this as a practice with our ballots and our unique voter identification numbers. Alex Jones, I wonder if you could drop a excellent. There is the ballot in our chat, and this would be for the slate that includes Zach Hall, LD5, position 1, Lisa Callan, LD5, position 2, Joe Fitzgibbon, LD34, position 2, Chapalo Street, LD37 Senator, Jalen Scott, LD37, position 2, and Nicole Macri, LD43, position 1. So please take just a minute to open that link. And thank you. And cast your vote on endorsing these candidates that have been endorsed by their single jurisdiction LDs.
And I will admit that I am the problem. I'm currently looking for mine.
It's okay. We've got helpers in the room. If you need a hand, just let us know. Otherwise, we might all start singing a song about you being the problem.
Can somebody tell me where the link is?
The link is in the meeting chat. If you scroll down to the chat at the very bottom, there's a box that, a message that says, do you approve of the first slate of candidates presented by the endorsement committee? This does not include any pulled candidates. And then all you need to do is click on the blue underlined HTTPS form.
Well, I'm not finding. Sorry.
It's okay. At the bottom of your Zoom screen, there's a little bubble, and underneath it, it says the word chat. Did you click on chat?
Oh, here, let me look.
There you go.
Let me find my Zoom screen.
At
Okay. I don't see chat on here though.
the very bottom, there would be audio, video, participants, chat, react, and raise hand. It's in the same area where you turned your audio on off, where you came off of mute. So it should say chat down there. Hi, Charlotte. Thanks for raising your hand. Do you have a question about voting?
Is now a good time for an update?
I think now's a great time for an update while everybody's voting.
So we have some updates on the primaries in New York and Maryland. As folks may know, Steny Hoyer, who was the House Majority Leader whenever Democrats had control of the Congress from 2007 up until when we lost the House, he's retiring. And his endorsed candidate, a member of the House of Delegates, I believe, has won the primary there. Before the meeting began, I informed everybody that we already had one member of Congress in New York lose his primary by a 32-point margin to a progressive challenger. And we have a second who has just lost his primary. Adriana Espaillat has lost his primary in the 13th district, which includes parts of Manhattan and the Bronx, to Daria Lisa Chevalier. A very narrow margin. It's like 90% of the vote counted, and they just called it.
Oh, but they called it even though it's a narrow margin. Wow.
I believe it's a, what is that? 3-point margin currently. Yeah, and we're still waiting for Utah to close in a bit. We probably won't be in the meeting when it closes, but we're looking to pick up a seat there, the Democrats, due to redistricting. And so that primary will be very closely watched, and thus ends the update.
Wow. That's hot stuff. Thank you, Charlotte. It's amazing. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'll ask the tally team, how does it look? Are we nearing full participation from our quorum?
I believe we have cured all the votes, but give me just one moment to check.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I believe I have a steady number if you are ready, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
So the vote count is 32 yes and 0 no.
Thank you. I will repeat that. 32 ayes, 0 nays, and the slate is passed. Thank you. And thank you to all of the LDs who did the hard work of getting to know all of the candidates for these positions. That is the big job. It sure is. Before we move to the second slate of candidates, in Kat and Dean, shall we go forward on the candidate that was pulled for discussion?
That's
Yes.
entirely up to you, Madam Chair.
Yep.
Sure.
And I'm seeing that confirmed
I'm
by
seeing
our
head nod.
parliamentarian. Thank you, Kevin. Exactly the assistance I needed. I will take a quick question from Carolyn Hart before we open discussion on the candidate that was pulled. Hi, Carolyn. What's your question? Carolyn, do you want to ask now or wait till later?
I want to ask now. My problem is I'm having connection problems and I didn't get to vote, and I don't know what I would be voting on anyway.
It's okay. It was a unanimous approval of the slate of single jurisdiction candidates.
Oh, I'm all for that. Okay, you can add my vote to that.
Wonderful. I'm glad you're giving it all the thumbs up. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you. And I may have some in the future. Maybe it's the weather or something.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It sure does. Thank you. Okay, we have a candidate pulled from that slate, Hannah Sabio Howell, that was endorsed by LD 43. And I'd like to open discussion now to a maximum of 2 voices for and 2 against. And I'd love to see a raise of hands. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Charlotte. I need to close a few things here because it's covering up the hand raising. So unfortunately, they all look the same to me. So maybe, since I can see many of your faces, if you want to speak for Hannah, can you give me a thumbs up? Jamie Ryan, excellent. And then I'll come back to Eddie and Amy. Although now I don't see Eddie's hand raised. So maybe not, maybe Charlotte and Amy. And there's Eddie's hand.
No, I was going to speak for. I gave a thumbs up emoji thing.
Oh, gotcha. I see, I see. I'm sorry, I missed that. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to make a note. Okay. I wonder,
Point of privilege, Madam Chair.
Yes, who's speaking?
That's Jamie Fackler.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey, I'm wondering, can we have, is it possible to open it to more than just 2 speakers, given that this is a single jurisdiction race that's been polled, and so just being able to hear from more folks in favor, outside or against, you know, just is that
I think let's wait and see how it goes with 2 and 2.
okay?
Let's see how we do. I wonder if I have somebody who might be interested in running timer, or I can do that. Anybody super excited about it?
I'll do that, Madam Chair. Give me a moment.
Thank you, Aaron.
Can I ask a point of information?
Of course.
Hey, so I'm a little shaky on these rules, but I thought I understood that if an LD had endorsed a candidate, it's not possible to have an endorsement that goes against that. Is that not is that different than that, or?
It is a little bit different from that. The King County Dems rules say that we can follow what the LD endorses, or we can choose to not act. But we cannot ask for a duel. We cannot nominate anybody else. We can't go sideways any other way. We can follow them or not act. Okay, I would like to see if Aaron feels ready, and if so, I'll have Ryan speak first, followed by Eddie, then Jamie and Amy.
What time, Beth?
2 minutes, please.
What a personal privilege.
Hi, Charlotte.
We should probably.
I believe when I saw the order of hands go up, I believe that it was Jamie who raised his hand first, followed by me, and then Ryan, and then Amy, and then Eddie, and then Rachel. So if we're going in order of people who would like to speak for, in order of
Charlotte, Roberts doesn't require me to follow the order that the hands came up. I can see that it's very important to you to speak. So I will, but that's why I'm very happy to see how the discussion goes. And if we need to have more speakers, we can go to 3 and 3. I'd be really
I withdraw
happy.
my point of order.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. These are all things that we're all learning together. Thank you for that. So if we are ready, and it looks like we are, Jamie, I want to make sure.
Please, Chair, I'm sorry. May
Hi,
I ask a question about this debate before we get started?
Of course, thank you.
So in a typical motion for endorsement, like we would be speaking directly about that person and nothing else, because with the motion is to not follow the endorsement of the LD, can we speak about the race in general, or does it still need to be specifically about him?
I'm going to ask for assistance from our parliamentarian, because I agree typically we do not have debate about other candidates. We speak to the candidate at hand and the race. Kevin?
Madam Chair, yes, you speak to the merits of endorsing this candidate or not. That's all. That's the only thing that's on the table right now.
Thank you.
Chair, this is Andrew Ashefu, and if I'm out of order, please call me out. I would like a point of clarification from since we're voting on the 43rd LD, and a point of clarification from anyone from the LD to just tell us a bit about how the endorsement was or anything about that endorsement to give us a better clarification on this whole thing happening. If it's out of order, please call me out.
Oh, you're definitely out of order, Andrew, but I let you go anyhow because this was a good question. And you might have noticed that when I read the order of speakers, I read Ryan first, because as LD chair, I thought he would probably be the one most able to lay the foundation for what happened in their LD discussions. And so again, I went way out of order of hands that flew up because he would be the one in charge of the meeting that drew this endorsement. So thank you. And with that, Ryan, I want to ask if you and Jamie and Eddie and Amy can see Aaron's box. It's got the great big KC Dems logo in the middle of it. That'll be our timer. We're not draconian tonight. We really want to learn. So do your best and we appreciate it. And thanks for coming off of mute. Ryan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Baisley. Hello, everyone. Ryan, Chair of the 43rd. I stand in strong support of our endorsement of Hannah Sabio-Howell. Hannah has a long track record of working with the Democrats. She was a staff member for a House member and worked in the communications departments of the Senate Democrats. She's a very strong progressive. She's been demonstrating an amazing ground game, and our LD voted to support her. I know that there are people who are surprised by this endorsement, but honestly, I'm not. Our LD is a very progressive place. She has been engaging with a lot of younger voters in a way that other candidates have not, and has really been able to get people engaged that have not been engaged in politics before. Both her Get Out the Vote efforts and her social media presence are on point, and she has been engaging people for a while. She started her campaign by doing signature gathering to overcome the filing fee that you need to pay. So she has been having people knock doors and engage with across our entire community since the very beginning of our campaign. I can see no reason why we would not endorse her, given that the LD endorsed her, and she is very, very obviously a Democrat. And I'll cede the rest of my time to Charlotte.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that very much. And I acknowledge you left a half a minute on the table. Charlotte, would you like to use these next beautiful 36 seconds?
Madam Chair?
Yes, I will only.
Madam Chair, it's not in order to cede time.
Oh, I see. How interesting.
In Congress, yes, not according to Roberts, though.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Well, do you want to keep speaking, Ryan, or would you like me to consider a third round of speakers, which I'm happy to do?
I'd encourage us to hear from Charlotte, but I'll cede the rest of my time.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Next up will be Eddie Chang.
Hi, thank you, everybody. Hannah has run a fantastic ground game and is a great candidate and somebody I would love to see in Olympia. However, we're going to be facing another budget crisis next year, a huge budget deficit, defending the millionaire's tax, as well as we need somebody who will sit there and continue to defend the millionaire's tax, be effective at putting in new progressive revenue in there. Like the strong support, like the millionaire's tax, as well as the property tax increase from 1% to 3%. Somebody that has been We need somebody in Olympia who has been in charge of the Democratic caucus and been able to get all these progressive ideas and progressive revenues and defend our budget. So while I love Hannah as a person, I don't think this is the right time for her as of right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate your timely comments. And I think we can move next to Jamie. Hi, Jamie. In just a sec, well, there you go. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, really, to me, it's not surprising that the 43rd LD endorsed Hannah Sebio-Howe for this race. Again, I think folks have spoken to the ground game and the amount of organizing. But really, we're seeing this not just here in Seattle, not just in the west side of the state, but we're also seeing young progressives really excite people and get people engaged in politics throughout the country. At the state convention, I had the honor of spending time with some young Dems, and there's a ton of young folks in Spokane that are running for elected office on progressive values. This again, as Ryan spoke to, this LD has a history of electing folks with progressive values. This party has struggled to engage the younger generation. I think it would be a real shame to go against the 43rd legislative district and not endorse a young candidate who is engaged a base of voters and is running a really exciting progressive campaign. It's not to throw shade on what other legislatures have done or the history of folks that have done work in Olympia, but it's also time to give this generation the opportunity to lead and have a voice in what the future of our state and our country is going to be. I think that, Hannah Sebio-Howe clearly shares the values of King County Dems. And I really look forward to King County Dems endorsing her, and I encourage folks to endorse her as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. Thanks very much. Next up is Amy Hamrick. Hi, Amy.
Hi, thank you, Chair. Hannah obviously is a wonderful organizer, and as people have mentioned, has a great ground game, has experience working with members of the state legislature, but none of that really prepares you for a career as a state senator. And she has not held elective office. And so to jump to such a high seat as state senator really puts King County and the Democratic caucus in the state Senate at a disadvantage to lose somebody that has a lot of relationships already in the Senate. Hannah, if she were to be elected, would come in and have to make relationships in a time when King County is trying to get the 1% levy lid on property taxes lifted. And it's going to take legislators with histories in the state legislature making allies with other state legislators to get that bill done. The LD, her LD is very different demographically from King County as a whole. And I think it's great that the LD was enthusiastic about her as a candidate and wanted to endorse her. But King County as a whole has a different set of priorities and a different demographic. And so our needs here as the King County Democrats often differ from the LDs. And I think it would put King County at a disadvantage to have such a young, inexperienced state senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. I see two hands raised, and I'm wondering either with a physical thumb or with the emoji thumb, if you're speaking pro to this candidate or con to this candidate. I'm hoping I see two pro, and I'm hoping to have a balanced forum. Hi, Chris Porter. Are you thumbs up or otherwise? Thank you. I'm wondering if there's anybody else who would like to speak for the pulling of this candidate from the slate, which would be against the endorsement.
Point of information, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. Kat?
Then you're keeping it balanced if no one else rises to speak against, will you still be recognizing these speakers for?
I'd like to keep it balanced. I'm looking at Kevin grinning like a Cheshire cat to see if I do this correctly. I am tempted to call on Charlotte because she has she raised her hand very quickly and had another speaker attempt to defer to her. Kevin, how does Roberts weigh in? Not Roger. He's a nice guy. It's Robert that we all grumble about.
Roberts says that that unless there's a motion to limit debate, any member can speak at any time, to debate. Actually, if you want to get technical, it's any member can speak to a motion twice at 10 minutes each time. Of course, that's unnatural here. We can't do something like that, of course. We want to get out of here. But every member should be at least have a chance to debate at least once if they want to. Now, the chair's job, if at all possible, is to alternate back and forth. But if there's more pros than cons, those people can still speak, regardless. Your attempt as a chair would be to try to get to alternate back and forth, but it doesn't always happen, obviously.
Acknowledged, indeed. I will look for we'll look for other hands to be raised, but in the meanwhile, I'll offer the floor to Charlotte, Rachel, and Chris. Charlotte, you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The 43rd LD endorsed Hannah Savio Howell by a 60% margin. I think it very clearly reflects the will of the LD, and the will of the LD should be respected. As to the inexperience or the supposed inexperience of our endorsed candidate, we have 6 legislators under the age of 35. Osman Salahuddin, who had only been a member of the Redmond City Council for less than a term before he was appointed, is 30. Daria Farivar is 31. Lauren Davis was elected at 33. There's no question of Hannah Savio Howell's ability to get work done in Olympia. Other candidates in this race had never held elected office before their election to a given public office. I don't think that Hannah is inexperienced, and I think that Hannah can meet the challenges that her constituents would demand her to meet and that the state would demand her to meet. I think she would be an excellent legislator, and I think we as the King County Democrats should allow her the endorsement of this organization. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Rachel, thanks for coming off of mute, and you have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm going to try to not use the time of 2 minutes, but I just wanted to briefly say that I had the opportunity to meet Hannah Savio Howell, and I got so much amazing inspiration from her just by listening to what she had to say and how accessible she was and how easily she was to listen to and how she was able to listen to me regardless of the fact that I'm not in her district or not. The 43rd legislative district has endorsed Hannah, and so I think we should respect that as well. We should listen to the will of the district. Also, we are entering a time where we need fresh, new leadership. Hannah's got that. She's going to be a champion and go further and for being a champion for progressive revenue and taxing the wealthy corporations beyond current legislatures. And I will yield the floor back to you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Chris Porter, would you like to come off of mute? Have 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm sorry, I come off mute. Here, waiting for my picture to come up, but okay. Well, thank you, Chair. I have a special place in my heart for the 43rd because that is the district I first moved to when I came to Seattle. And the only place I could think of to move was its reverse cousin, the 34th. But while I was in Spokane, we kept hearing about attracting younger Democrats to help shape the party, move the direction, and bring in new ideas. And if we really mean that, it sounds like this candidate is one of those folks. And it isn't that she's progressive or has the values. Is she becomes a marker of the direction and the future that we say this party needs to head in and wants to head in. And the only way that that can happen, or one of the only ways that that can happen, is that we stay true to our values and continue to endorse and try to elect those fresh new voices that come forward and take that enormous step to say, I want to be an office holder. We also need to remember that all of this is predicated on the idea that office holders were just anyone who met the age limit who wanted to stand for office. And we layered other requirements on top of that, but the basis of politics is anyone who met the legal requirements.
See, another hand is up. I'm going to remove that spotlight and ask Mary Scanlon. Oh, you beat me to it, and you are off of mute, and the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I didn't actually anticipate that I'd have any occasion to talk tonight, but I have to weigh in and say that Hannah used to live in the 37th, and she overlapped very briefly with my tenure when I was in my first term. And in the time that she was with us, she was the most amazing volunteer. One of the best I think we've ever had. I miss her every day. I wish I could clone 10 of her. And I just want to speak out as strongly as possible on her behalf, because I think that the argument that she's inexperienced holds no water. And I'm just going to say it. I think that is an argument that is more typically used against women candidates than men. I know it's been used against me, so I know this personally. And so I would hope to just write that off completely. But that's about all I got to say. That's my 2 cents. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that very much. And I'd like to remind our group that during our meetings, we don't use emojis during any of the speakers. So probably should have said that up front. Anybody else that would like to speak to or against the motion on the table? No, seeing no more speakers. Thank you. Thank you, Erin, for bringing up the timer. Appreciate that so much. I would like to go ahead and call for a vote. Alex, if you could please put a ballot in the chat for us. This ballot will be, we don't need a motion or a second because the endorsement committee has already brought this forward to us, which counts as a motion and a second. And we'll be voting to follow through on LD 43's endorsement and have King County Dems endorse Hannah Sabio Powell. Hey, Alex.
Hey, quick
Yeah.
request for information. Just
Yeah.
confirming, because it was polled, it is still an endorsement vote, an affirmative, right? So should we endorse her?
Correct.
Okay, I'll put that in the chat.
Yes, awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. That's great. And I saw another hand fleetingly come up. I want to make sure we answer all the questions we can now. So please, Carolyn, maybe Carolyn, do you have a question? Go for it.
Well, my question was pretty much answered by Erin. Is that a vote for yes is a vote to endorse?
Indeed, it is. Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take a moment to open that link.
Chair?
I don't see a hand raised, but I
It's Chris
recognize
Porter.
the
I'm
voice.
sorry. Yes.
Hi, Chris.
We have this voting number. It did come to us because I didn't really think about the voting number.
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Do you need help? Would you like one of our credential teams to send you a private message in the chat with your unique voter identification number?
Yes, please. Oh, I just found it.
Oh, great, great. Good, good. Thank you. Hi, I see a hand raised. Andrew, what is your question?
Oh, it's not a question, it's just a point of information or something. I just wanted to announce that Lindsay Calkins has um cancelled off, is no more running for office. I don't know the right word to use, but just
Withdrawn? She's withdrawn?
has withdrawn from the Seattle Municipal Court race. Just announced it.
Oh my. That is news. Where did you learn that, Andrew?
It's on her website right now.
Ah, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Mr. Burns.
would you restate what Andrew just said? It came through to me garbled.
Absolutely, absolutely. We had a judicial candidate that we interviewed, Lindsay Calkins, and Lindsay was in a I think there were three candidates in that race, if I'm remembering correctly. And apparently, per her website, she has decided to withdraw her candidacy. Hi, Charlotte. You have a question.
Yes, and I wanted to clarify, she has withdrawn, but I believe she will remain on the ballot. It will not just remain in the general election. Had she withdrawn in filing week, it would have gone, I believe, just to a general election because there's now only two candidates, but
That's
she will still
correct.
appear on the August ballot.
That's correct. Those ballots are cooked, and some folks already have them. If you live overseas, vote from overseas, or are a military voter, it is there. So that's very kind of her to put it on her website, which I'm sure was in her candidate statement, so that if people did some research, it would pop up. Andrew, thanks for putting that in the chat, and Charlotte, thanks for clarifying for everybody that that the ballot it's set in ink, probably soy based. How are we doing on returning those ballots?
Madam Chair, it looks like we have 37 votes in right now.
37 of the 41 possible. I'll give everybody another moment. Just don't want to lose the opportunity to cast a ballot. But I understand sometimes you have to step away to hydrate, maybe grab a bite of dinner. It's that time of night.
Madam Chair, point of privilege.
Yes, hi, Jamie.
Hey, I'm just curious how everyone's trip back from Spokane was. Everybody made it home all right. I got a flat tire in Issaquah, so I had a
Oh,
very long day on Sunday.
yes, you did. Oh, I'm
But made
so
it home all
sorry.
right. But
I'm
yeah,
glad.
I just so.
What happens with a motorcycle flat tire? Does AAA come to you the same?
Yeah, your insurance, if you get yes, yeah, they come do the same. And I think it, probably takes about the same 3 hours to kind of
Yes.
resolve a situation like that. So yeah.
Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot.
So it was a very long day for me.
Indeed. Indeed. But it sounds successful because although you lost a
Yes,
tire, you are just fine.
that's right.
So
Yep, everybody's
good,
okay. So
good trick writing.
right, yeah, and then got a new tire on it today, so I'm very excited. I'm back on the road. So
That's awesome. Well, it looks like we're holding at steady at 37 ballots. So I'm going to go ahead and close voting. Just going to check one more. Yep, it looks like. So voting is now closed, and I'd like to ask our tally and credential committee to please give us a report.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. There were 37 votes cast with 31 yes and 6 no.
31 ayes and 6 nays. And we have endorsed Hannah Sabio Howell for representative in LD 43. Awesome. Thank you guys for the robust conversation. I really appreciate that we can come together, maybe not all sharing the same opinion, but we can have a good conversation and come out of it with a decision completed. That's great. That is great. I do see a hand raised with a question. Hi, Eddie. What's your question?
Can I make a comment about that last one now that it's over, and a little bit frustration with the rules?
You can make a rules related frustration comment. Yes.
Okay. I'm frustrated with the fact that we weren't able to talk about the big thing in that race, which was mostly that her opponent, which we weren't allowed to talk about, was the chief architect and the only reason we got the millionaire's tax passed. And for us to go, for somebody to have carried the water on such a progressive tax issue, and then for us to just completely ignore it and endorse his opponent without even without actually looking at the entire race instead of just only speaking about her.
So Eddie, I'm gonna thank you for your comment. I see your frustration in just being able to speak to the candidate on the table, but that was the issue at hand, was do we endorse that candidate? And I believe that we can have trust in Chair Ryan Driscoll and LD 43, that they also knew who their incumbent was and the heavy lift that he did on behalf of all of us in the state. And we also know that that LDs can continue to address their endorsements. And should they come back and say, oh my gosh, we forgot we love him too, we would entertain a dual endorsement from them. But this body does not act independently. And in this case, we voted to follow through on the membership's wishes of LD 43. It's a little wonky, but it's totally appropriate to focus on the candidate on the table. And in that case, it was Hannah. And so congratulations to Hannah for earning both the endorsement of her LD and King County Democrats. Kat, I believe you have a second slate for us, and I wonder if you might like to share it.
Yes, let the joy continue.
Woohoo!
Hold on here. Oh gosh, for some reason my share button is missing. Hold on one sec. Why is that, I wonder? There we go. Okay, simple. We have simply, and you'll note on the report, I've updated it with the results of both the first two ballots. Slate number 2, which would be ballot 3 for us. These are races that the committee made a recommendation in, and there are 2 fabulous jurists that we would love to recommend and encourage everyone to vote for. That's Andrea Jarman, Southwest District Court, Judge Position 2, the overwhelming choice for LDs in that area, and Barty Martin for West District Court, Position 1.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks very much. I appreciate all the work done by the endorsement committee. Thank you and Dean both for leading many, many hours of interviews and so many emails going back and forth with so many interested parties. This is exciting, and those were both 2 lively interviews. So all of us who've been on the endorsement committee are excited to see these come forward. I want to take a moment and ask if there is any need to pull either of these candidates from the slate. I'll listen for a voice and look for a hand if anybody wants to pull Andrea Jarman or Barty Martin from this slate. Seeing no indication, I think we can go ahead and utilize one more ballot to approve
okay.
this.
All right, Madam Chair, that is now pasted into the chat for access.
Thank you very much.
There is currently a screen being shared, but it looks like, okay, the voting got moved off of it.
Thank you. Thanks for heads up on that.
All right, Madam Chair, I believe we have at least a definitive result. You are ready.
I am ready. Thank you very much.
We have 29 ballots cast, 29 yes, 0 no.
Wonderful news. 29 in favor of the judicial slate and 0 opposed. Wonderful. Thank you, Kat. If you want to scroll there it is. Congratulations to Andrea Jarman and Barty Martin. Wonderful. I think if I'm remembering correctly, Kat, that concludes endorsement business for tonight. Do you want to offer one more reminder of the AI sharing and learning?
Yes, indeed. In sometime this summer, once we get all of our wonderful speakers confirmed on a single date, we will have an AI forum that will hopefully be a countywide event to talk about the ways in which AI may be used within King County Democrats' core work. And
Wonderful.
please save the date, save the conceptual date. We'll let you know as soon as we have that.
I love the concept of a date to talk about something as ethereal as AI.
Not really a concept of an idea, is it? Sorry about that.
It's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Next up on our agenda is our very own Vice Chair of Outreach, Andrew Ashiafu. Andrew, you have the floor.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everyone. Happy Friday. Oh, sorry, I'm a mess right now. Yeah. First of all, it's been a crazy weekend. Pride is rounding up, but the activities. Okay, my camera is funky. Sorry, everyone. Pride is coming up, but the activity is rounding up, sorry, and the activities in Seattle this Sunday, we will be marching in the Seattle parade. And I'm going to put this in the chat while other committees are keeping giving out their reports. The shares are still available because we have to different designs. Pride is still happening all around King County. Even some will be happening in July. And the parade starts for us, it starts at 11:30 a.m. Between 11:30 and noon, we will be meeting, and I'll put all the details in there. And this is a plea to all LD reps right here, right now, especially the chairs. Please send the information out to your members. We need to come out loud. We need to come out and stand with our community members to know that the Democrat Party is there to support them, and also come and support us for all the work we do. Thank you very much. Over to you, Chair.
Thank you, Andrew. Wowee, top speed. Appreciate it very much.
That regarding we're still in the process of doing our research regarding the rent conversation that happened earlier on 2 months ago, and also we met with the African community members, and we did a reach out and we're working with them to organize a civic engagement forum with the Afghanistan refugee community members in King County. Thank you.
We did. That was terrific. That was really terrific. Thank you for remembering to share that. I'm just popping into the chat the info for this weekend's Seattle Pride Parade. It is, as you guys know, the event of the season. I've had a great time at Pride events around the county, have attended many a flag raising, and I love that every single city that I've been to has a unique way to do it and wonderful community involvement in making it meaningful. It's just been really terrific. So I know that Seattle is putting on one heck of a party this weekend. And as we know, it coincides with an auspicious soccer match. So I would love to have as many of us as possible turn out. Sunday, June 28th, Marcher arrival window is 11:30 to 12 noon, and we are meeting on Seneca Street between 3rd and 4th Avenue. That's us. Just popped it in there. If you haven't yet ordered your shirt, we do have a few shirts remaining, and I'm very happy to bring them that day so that you can slide them on over your tank top or maybe long sleeve shirt if the weather becomes what the weatherman is saying it's going to become. But I'd love to give you a forewarning that I have a single 3X, I have 9 2Xs, I have 18 XLs and 8 larges. And that's the smallest size that's remaining. We are sold out of mediums, smalls, extra smalls, and our youth sizes. So thank you, Chris Porter. I think you would look mighty fine in a large. Why don't you pop into the link in the chat, and that way you can let us know if you'd like the mountain motif or the Pride of Lions motif. They are both being equally appreciated, which actually kind of surprised me. I thought that would go the other way, but I'm thrilled to see that they're both being loved. Thank you for your order, Jamie. I appreciate that so much. Charlotte, I see your hand is raised.
Speaking of weather, for those who are interested in knowing what it will be, the National Weather Service says preliminarily mostly cloudy with a high near 64. So it will not be as it was today. Thank God.
Yes, I'm thrilled. Thank you for that good news. That is good news all around. It will not be a scorcher. And if you come in one shirt, you can surely pull one of these on over. So that's awesome blossom. Well, I will look forward to fulfilling a last handful of orders and seeing you guys there. I will be there with a wagon that will be filled with buckets filled with candy. So if you would like to make some parade watchers very happy, come to that parade because it is the finest candy Costco has to offer, and you can give it to them for free. No hooks, that you don't have to inquire about their voter registration status. They just get to have a sweet treat so they can have a warm interaction with a Democrat. because every one of those is a good one. Amy, oh, hi, Andrew. One last outreach thought before we move on to Amy?
Yes, endorsed candidates can come, but the sign has to have endorsed by the King County Dems.
Yes,
So
and
please
in
invite your
fact, I have a sticker, and I will go and grab one of those stickers right now so endorsed candidates can bring a sign and we will give them a sticker to put on it.
Please share with your LD endorsed candidates. We've worked so hard to ensure that our candidates can match with us, and we made a lot of compromise with the Seattle Pride organizers for that.
There you go. So they can bring their regular sign and we will give them one of these. And with a little blow dryer, it can peel right off afterwards. So we want to be compliant and also happy with candy. Amy, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So we talked last month, PCO filings went great. There is, some people are having a little bit of confusion about what happens if they filed for PCO last month between now and December 1st. So everybody who filed, that term does not start until December 1st. Anyone who was not currently a PCO and filed to become one does not start until December 1st. We welcome everybody who filed as a new PCO to apply to be appointed to that precinct for the rest of the year. And so they can do that the normal way through KCDEM's website. And some people missed filing week because reasons, all kinds of different reasons. If they want to be appointed to their precinct next year, if nobody else filed, that has to wait until after King County and their LD reorgs. So they won't be able to apply to be appointed until late January, early February. So any appointments right now are for the rest of the year through November 30th, and everybody who filed in May, that term starts December 1st. Want to ask that you all remind the PCOs in your LDs that Beth and I are still running our all PCO meetings, second Tuesday of every month at 7. And I'll put the registration link in chat. Beth and I both had conflicts in June. My kids had awards night for their 8th grade graduation. So our first vice chair, Josh, and secretary Ricky stepped in to hold that meeting for us. And it sounds like it went great and everybody had a great time. So we're really appreciative of their help and them stepping up for that. But we will be back to see everybody July 14th. And so please pass that registration link around to your LD PCOs. Thank you.
Awesome, Amy. Thank you very much. And thank you for working so diligently to process the PCO applications and to work with the LD PCO chairs to make sure that everybody is recognized that comes through and wants to become a dedicated volunteer. I appreciate your hard work on that. I see a question. I wonder if it's about PCOs. Hi, Hunter. What's your question?
Yes, it is. I'm getting quite a few applications forwarded to me in occupied precincts. Is there a way that you can filter those out so I don't have to respond, since it even comes on the application where it says that it's occupied?
Most LDs have a contingency for an acting PCO or a PCO coordinator. And so that is why we still forward those applications. Also, sometimes our records have, somebody has sent a resignation letter to the LD that hasn't come to me or vice versa. So sometimes our records don't match. So we also want to make sure that we aren't turning somebody away if their precinct is in fact open.
Thank you. That's a great explanation. Do you guys reach out to them preemptively and let them know that it is currently occupied so their only path is acting, or would that fall on us to do? And I'm okay. I just want to know. So
Sure. They get an automated email that says that their application was forwarded to the LD. And then, yes, it does say we think, we think your PCO your precinct is open, or we think it's filled, but that the LD will confirm.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Great questions, great answers. Thanks, everybody. Next up is our treasurer, Diana Phillips, with a treasurer report. Diana? I know I saw her earlier. Here comes Kat. Great. And I wonder if Diana had to leave us.
Madam Chair, I'm not seeing her in the list of participants currently.
Me either. I know she had a big meeting this evening and popped in briefly. You can go ahead and put that back up. Thank you. And we'll just take a moment to look. Remind everybody that we are at our core budget. And right now we're staying right on target with where we thought we would be. A special huge thank you to all of our monthly donors. Very, very appreciated. You are who keeps the lights on and allows us to maintain our Zoom and our Google Drives and all of the critical things, the many, many pieces of interesting software that allow us to process the PCO applications. And we're looking good. We'll look forward to hearing more and exciting news from Diana next month. Thanks, Kat. Appreciate you showing that. Nothing's changed since what we sent you in the email, so not a whole lot to go into there. Up next is discussing some upcoming KCDCC meetings. We had added Ian Jacobson, who you probably all know and remember, as a representative from LD 47, I believe, a KCDCC rep, and a longtime PCO and a longtime participant in our work. Ian, it happens to be Ian's birthday today. So he texted late last night and said, I would like to not attend. And I gave him a free pass to go and celebrate. Ice cream is way more fun than one more Zoom meeting. Ian had the idea that it would be really nice for us to start folding in some in-person meetings. I felt pretty skeptical about those until I went to the convention this past weekend and really appreciated being in a room with people doing the same work at the same time. And I agreed that it might be nice for us to plan to do these on occasion. The dates when we have large and important voting meetings, for instance, when we're passing endorsement recommendations, it is an important accessibility option to meet on Zoom, but some meetings are less focused on that. So we were hoping to be able to say, guess what? August meeting is going to be in person, but since we have not secured a venue, we will not be saying, guess what? It's August, but we'll be saying, everybody cross your fingers. It might be August, it might be October, but those are the 2 months we're looking at now. And I see Charlotte has a thought there, and I would like others to raise their hand or put something in the chat if they have a preference. And Charlotte, thank you so much for waiting for me to stop rambling. And you have a question or comment on meeting in person.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I was wondering if you could answer whether or not there will be a hybrid option for those who can't physically make it to an in-person meeting, so that certain LDs are not disenfranchised for members who can't travel.
Absolutely. We would hate to take away the opportunity that we have because of Zoom. So we'll make sure that there's a way for that to be possible.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, and guess who just popped into the waiting room? The very famous now, Diana Phillips, treasurer. We'll give her an opportunity to catch her breath. I see folks saying autumn and folks saying August. We are working with a couple of our labor partners to utilize their space. I'm very much hoping that we can be close to transit options to make it easy and not be just putting more cars on the road. But we will make sure to correspond with you more. So look for emails that are specific to just this topic. And if you can weigh in via email, it would be tremendously appreciated. Before we move on to new business, I'd like to give Diana a moment. If she'd like, Diana, we reviewed the budget slides and nobody had any questions. And also there was no palm to face, no heads exploding, nothing like that. But do you have any comments that you might want to make before we move on in the agenda?
I do not.
Oh, briefest treasurer statement ever. I love it. Okay, thank you, Diana. We'll look forward to discussing that again next month. Now I'd like to move on to new business and ask everybody in the room if there is any new business you'd like to bring to the group. Any invitations to summer picnics? I love a good hot dog. We all love a tube steak. Any end of the month pride events that we can share? I see a hand raised. Hi, Katie.
You mentioned summer picnic. We do not have our sign up links yet, but I will bring it to this group for our August summer picnic in LD 48. It will be held in Bellevue on August 7th. That is a Friday. And we just don't have our registration stuff set up yet. But when we do, I will bring it to this group. Thanks. And you're all,
Awesome.
of course, invited.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks very much. Hi, Kat.
I have an item, but I rather think it might be good of the order. It's an upcoming training that's not part of an LPO or King County DIMS. Is that good of the order and I'll reserve it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks. Well, Vivian, how are you tonight? Thank you for
Hi.
joining us. And the floor is yours.
Well, Tim can let me know if I'm correct. So the 30th District Democrats are having their picnic on Saturday, August 22nd, 4 to 6 p.m. And I think that's been confirmed, right, Tim? Yep. I see a blurry thumbs up.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Well,
So you're invited.
yay. I thoroughly enjoyed your picnic last summer, so I'm hoping to make it again this year. That was a really good one. Huge crowd. Huge crowd.
Thank you.
Lovely to have some cross-pollination, have us attend each other's and share and learn.
Right.
Any other new business? How about some good of the order? Hi, Chris.
Hi, thank you, Beth. I don't know if you talked about this before, but for those of you who don't know it, and I spoke with Bunny ahead of time, her husband recently passed. And I just wanted to take the time to say what a remarkable woman. She took care of him, and I know the work of trying to take care of a family member who's dying, who has an illness that just requires so much of your time, and yet she managed to balance that between catching a ferry, making our meetings, the endorsements. She's just a remarkable person and never wavered once. I don't think I ever heard her complain about the woes of it, and always wanted to encourage her to take some time for herself away from it all so she wouldn't burn out, but she just kept going. Even had to have surgery, I think it was twice during that time. So just that she gave all, continues to give all, is just remarkable in the face of a loss she knew she was going to have, and she just continued.
Yes, agree wholeheartedly. Thank you for that acknowledgement, Chris. I really appreciate it. And any of you who are connected to Bunny, she would welcome a message from you. She really would. She went the extra mile right down to the very moment of Jerry's burial. It was important to him that he acknowledge his being a Nebraska native and she had ordered a special piece for on top of his casket. It was en route during the funeral. She had them hold it open so it could be placed before his grave was closed. And I thought, what a beautiful testimonial to their love and to thoughtfulness in a small town that they allowed that to happen. That was one really heartwarming for me. Kat, I think you have a call to action for us. The floor is yours.
I do. Three indivisible groups worked here for the last several months to produce a constitutional observer course here for Washington State. It was done with heavy guidance and approval from Washington Indivisible Solidarity Network and ACLU of Washington. I'm going to drop here into chat now. We have an in-person class tomorrow night in Bellevue, in South Bellevue, so just off of I-90 and a few minutes walk from the transit center if anybody wanted to come in, and an online one on Monday night, and then at least weekly in person or online through the rest of the summer on this class. If folks are thinking about it, the reason you would take this class is so if you happen to see something happen on the street, you would be prepared to know what to do. If it's not safe for you to stop and perhaps record, at least you would come out of this training knowing what number to call. It's like having CPR training. You really hope you don't ever see somebody and need to give them CPR, but isn't it nice to know you can? So this is a 1 hour free course, special extra little plug for it. The in-person trainings in Bellevue, an ACLU representative has actually been coming to them to answer questions. And that makes for a really interesting conversation where you get to understand really the nuance of what makes you potentially vulnerable, which is, versus what is safe and constitutional and unlikely, despite what this administration is doing to get you in any kind of heck. Last thing I will say is that we would be more than happy to come and do trainings for individual organizations. So if an LD wanted to do a class for their LD, if they were interested, we would be more than happy to do that. We've done several of them so far. We currently have 7 trainers and hope to add trainers throughout not just the county, but the state. So I hope everybody will consider joining.
Thank you, Kat, and thank you for putting that into the chat. Appreciate that. Scott, thanks for waiting. The floor is yours.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to remind everyone that the state convention was last weekend, and it was quite wonderful. And Ken Martin and Chesty Conrad addressed the body, and it was really quite wonderful, and it was recorded and broadcasted to TBW, and there was a timestamp of it, of Ken's remarks. And I encourage everyone to listen to it because it really was quite impressive.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. It was. And thank you for popping that in the chat so we can all grab that link. I appreciate it. Well, Hannah, how are you? The floor is yours. Thanks for waiting.
Hi, Chair. I am sharing some different news out of the 34th. You had expressed some interest in hearing about different events that are happening around the county, and so I thought I would share 3 that are happening that the 34th is doing. This Friday at 5:30, we're having one of our monthly pop-up socials. We're doing that down in White Center at an awesome place called Beer Star that is kid friendly. You can bring in your own food. There's also restaurants attached to it. So it's a fun place. Then we are walking in the 4th of July parade down in Burien. And we are going to be doing that with the 33rd, I believe. And then we are also walking in another parade. We're going to be walking in the West Seattle Grand Parade on July 18th. And we are getting together at 10 a.m. for both of those parades. So we'd love to have folks from around the county as well show up and participate because it's just kind of fun to be in a march and get to see a bunch of cute kids along the side looking for candy. So that's what the 34th has going on.
That's great, Hannah. Thank you so much. And you're right, it is super fun. Appreciate the inclusion. Thanks very much for that. Hi, Rachel.
I just wanted to reiterate, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to reiterate what Scott Aldridge just said about the convention. It was an amazing time to just go and be in person with fellow Democrats and just learn from each other, build coalitions, connect, network, and just, do more than just vote on resolutions, but actually talk to people. I'm grateful for Carrie Bull earlier because she was from Faribault, Washington. I was happy to speak a little bit at the Progressive Council to talk about my my experience with ranked choice voting, and I just wanted to reiterate that it was an amazing experience, and now the work really begins. And thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Thank you all very much. Thank you. That was very robust, good of the order. There's a lot of wonderful stuff happening this summer, and I encourage everybody to participate in not just their LD stuff, but your neighbor LD or the LD where your friend is. And certainly at the very least, come and join all your friends this Sunday with me in Seattle on beautiful Seneca Avenue between 3rd and 4th at 11:30 a.m. And bring your cool lavender shirt. It'll be awesome. Seeing no other hands raised and no other pressing business, just going to do a quick check over here of the chat. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is. It's Street, Seneca Street. Street. Thanks, Charlotte. I'll hope to see everybody there rolling or walking and sharing some candy. And with that, I learned last month we do not need a motion to adjourn, but I do think it's pretty awesome to always ask Tim to maybe suggest that we could adjourn. Mr. Burns, searching for your mute button.
I have the mute button and I move to adjourn.
Thank you for that wonderful tradition. Thank you. Thank you. Seeing no objection, our meeting is adjourned 12 minutes early. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming together for a wonderful series of discussions and sharing so many opportunities to do the great work that we all are here to do. It's great being in companionship with you.